So we're getting ready to start on a few mile backpacking trip to Garden of the Gods. Right now the weather's kind of nasty, drizzling, 46 degrees, foggy. We're hoping everything will clear up. We're going to stay out on one of the observation points on top of one of the cliffs, and it's usually got a lot of really good views if the fog will ever lift. But it's getting, I don't know, it's 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. And yeah, 10:44. And the fog's still here. And when I say we, it's me and my co-pilot here. We're getting ready to go take off and spend some time out in the woods. Who was that? What was that? Somebody here? They have a dog. Oh no. Hey Brooks. What you doing? So as usual, you're free. So as usual, if I walk 2 miles, he'll walk 5 because he's out exploring, having a good time. But that's alright, he'll sleep good tonight. Okay, so we would normally take the river to river trail to the giant overlook, which is down that way, and that's actually where we're going to be camping. But we're going to take this split off to Rock Canyon, and we're going to stop. It goes down through here. My navigator's going the right way, and we're going to take that and go down and get some water, because following the river to river trail this way to where we're going to camp, there's no water source, so I want to top off all the water before tonight. So we're going to take this little side trail. Starting to get into some of the bluffs and stuff up here. He's out there scouting the way. Did you find the way? Did you find the campsite? Some more over here off to the side. Here he comes, faster than a speeding bullet. Or maybe a tennis ball. Here's a better shot of those cliffs. And then there's some down here. You ready to go? Are you tired yet? That little ledge right up there, that little point coming out, pretty cool. Somebody got up there and hung a flag. Pretty cool, ain't it, Brooks? Pretty cool. I know. I got busy filming. There's a little fire ring and stuff there where those 3 big rocks are. Right in front of them. Be a nice little place to camp. Got a nice little water source flowing through here. And down here in the canyons and stuff. And it'd be a pretty cool spot to camp. But we're trying to get up on top to one of the overlooks. The plan was that we get out there and have a good view, but it's still cloudy. Foggy. I don't think it's gonna clear up for us. Maybe we'll get lucky in the morning. But I hate to walk all the way up there for a view and to not get one today or tomorrow. It's not good getting my clean water bottle in my dirty, or in the dirty water. Let's do it, buddy. Look at me. Oh, let's go. Don't go in there. You'll be freezing. You go in there, you'll get all wet. Yeah. You'll be bad. It'll be cold. And you want to curl up next to me. And I don't want a wet dog sleeping next to me. So I got some water for us. The plan was to come down here and get water and carry it up to the top. That way we didn't have to carry all this extra water the whole time. But I don't know. I'd kind of like to camp down here since we're not going to get a view up there. I think I might check to see if I can get a phone service down here. I might just stay down in here somewhere near the water. Here in that here in this stream all night long. That'd be nice and relaxing. Be able to sleep like a baby. It's a pretty cool little area. We made it down to the point down there where we getting water and heading back up to the river to river trail, but it's pretty cool little area. The only thing worse than coming up a steep hill, not so much steep but pretty big, is coming up a hill that's just rocky. Rocky. You don't have no problems, do you, buddy? So, packing that, filled up 4 liters of water down. We purposely walked down the canyon to get to the creek before we got up here. And packing that 4 liters of water up here, I felt that. This big old hill. This is, one of the campsites, and normally I would say it was worth the climb up here because of the view, but as you can see, there is no view. But we're gonna skip this campsite and go on down to the next one. Okay, so we made it to our camp here, right on the edge of the bluff. A little fire pit here. I don't know if I want to mess with the fire. It's been raining the last couple of days, and I don't know. Have to wait and see. It's still fairly early in the day. I think it's 12:50. So I don't know. I got time, but I'm gonna get camp set up and let my dog rest and get him some dinner. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, that the walk up here, and I would say that the view would be worth it. So I started out with a 40-pound pack that was including 2 liters of water and my dog stuff and my stuff. We went out of our way to get to the bottom of the canyon to get some water to bring it up here, since there's no water source up here. So we put on an extra 4 liters of water and then came up out of the canyon up here. And like I said earlier, normally I would say the view, it would make it worth it. The view out there is getting a little bit better. The fog is finally starting to clear up a little bit. But normally that'd be worth the walk. And then besides that, I would also say, well, I'll be crawling in my hammock and then sleeping like a baby tonight. And well, that's not going to happen either. Holy cow. What kind of weird hammock is that? So I'll show you a clip here in a second of my dog trying to sleep on the tent. He's not very good at this ground dwelling stuff. So as you can tell, he's pretty new to this tent thing. He hasn't quite figured it out. He thinks it's just a ground cloth. Gonna have to teach you how to do this old ground dwelling stuff. So why am I in a tent instead of a hammock? Because of that little fella right there. So last time he went camping with me, he got scared. I don't know why, but when we first went to bed, he was laying there with his head kind of stuck underneath the tarp, looking out, trying to see, for all the scary monsters or whatever. And I don't understand what was weird that night for him, but he wasn't very happy. And a lot of dogs, whenever they get a lot of pent up anxiety, fear and anxiety and all that kind of stuff all pent up, like they'll do what I call exploding. Like whenever I let him out the next morning, he just exploded. He just took off, just running around just fast as he can go, zigzagging from here to there to everywhere, just trying to burn off some of that nervous energy. Dogs do that, and it's our job to try to keep him from getting to that point. And that night, I thought after he calmed down, and he finally went to sleep, I thought he was good, but he woke up that next morning and still nervous, so I felt pretty bad about that. But so I didn't want to take him 2 times in a row and have a bad experience for him, because then I don't want to put him through that. I don't want to put him through being afraid, but I also don't want him to get to the point where he's afraid to go camping, and so we're staying in the tent tonight. Everybody knows that nylon wall is bear proof, and everything. So maybe with us both laying there, and he, he's right there beside me and everything, and he can't see outside because the tent's all zipped up, and plus that last time he didn't get, we just walked maybe a quarter mile to where we camped and just kind of hung out. But this time we've walked close to 3 miles up and down hills. And so maybe it'll make a difference. But yeah, this is starting to see the view. Way up above the trees, you can start to see some of the ridge lines out there and everything. And I'm hoping tomorrow morning will be a lot better, because I don't think it's going to get much better today. It's going to start about the time the fog lifts. The sun's going to be setting and it's going to be getting dark. But yeah, it's a beautiful place up here either way. And I was going to, got plenty of places to hang the hammocks and these different trees and everything and all that good stuff. But it is what it is, and I'm still out here. Still got to go a little backpacking trip, and still got to hang out with my dog who's over here resting. So it's all good. I can sleep on the ground for one night. So I tried out this Climate insulated static V pad in my hammock a couple nights ago, and I didn't think I would ever like a full-size pad in my hammock, but worked out really well. I slept great. The insulation was good. I didn't have an underquilt or anything. So now I'm going to try it. Since I'm sleeping in a tent anyway and sleeping on the ground, I'm going to try it on the ground, see how that does. One of the reasons why I'm wanting to try the pads and everything in the hammocks, they take up less room than underquilt, even than a down underquilt. I mean, the pads just compress down to such a small package compared to a quilt. And also, if I ever had to go to ground for some reason, if I had a pad with me, it'd make it a lot more comfortable. So tonight, since I got the tent, you know, be a good time to try it out on the ground, see what I think about it. Okay, so that dog right there is a very, very spoiled dog. There are not very many dogs or people that I would sleep on the ground for. Back hurts, shoulders hurt, my hips hurt, and then I gotta go put on a backpack and walk 100 miles. All because of that dog right there. So we're hanging out. It's supposed to be like a 0% chance of rain. The Weather Channel shows 0 rain for the next 60 minutes. But there's so much, it's foggy again. I was really hoping to get a clear view off of the edge of the cliff there this morning. It's super foggy, and just like yesterday, there's so much moisture in the air, it might as well be raining. Yesterday when we got to camp, my beard and my hat and everything was just soaked from all the moisture in there. And that's actually worse. If you've ever been out in that kind of stuff, it's actually worse than rain. It'll get everything wet. It just like finds all the, it's almost like it can float up in under your rain jacket and stuff and find any little crack or crevice anywhere in your gear. And man, it's just nasty. I'd rather it be raining than just all that moisture just hanging. You could see it hanging in the air. So that's what we're waking up to this morning. I just fed the yellow dog here and letting him take a nap, letting his food settle and everything, and then we're gonna go back out. I've had him on a leash because normally I don't have him on a leash at all, but I brought a leash with me because I knew we'd be camping near the cliff edge, and I didn't want him to like see a rabbit or squirrel and go take off after it. he can't turn sharp, and he gets that momentum going, and he's just in a straight line, you know. So I'd hate for him to, you know, take off running after something and run off the cliff, you know. So but normally, in like right now, I would just let him out. I'd have if being in the tent, I'd have the door open and just keep an eye on him and let him go out and do his deal. But with being that close to the edge, I'm out there with him in the rain or in that fog and damp weather, and it's just nasty. So we're waiting, just waiting for it to get a little bit the light to start coming up. I'm going to start packing up all the stuff on the inside, get all that put away, and then as it starts getting light, I'll take him out and let him use the bathroom one more time, let him run around, and then I'll take the tent down and see if we're going to have any chance of a view at all. And if not, we're just going to head back to the car. It's close to 3 miles on the way out here because we veered off and went down in the canyon to get water and then came back up. But going back, we won't need to do that, so we're just going to go straight back. And it's closer to a 2-mile walk back to the car from here, so piece of cake. So a couple extra things I took with my dog. Some of this I would take anytime. Like I took I took a foam pad and cut it in half, kind of insulates him from the ground, and then my poncho liner I brought that. He was sleeping just on the pad for when we got here yesterday afternoon, but the pad itself was kind of cold, so I laid the poncho liner on top of it and he slept a lot better. Because before that, he tried to sleep on my pad because it was warmer. So, but if it gets really cold, I can cover him up with this and stuff. So that I normally take this no spill water bowl. If we were camping in a hammock, it wouldn't be a concern. But camping in a tent, I didn't want the water. I want him to have access to water 24/7, but I didn't want him spilling the water inside the tent. So I took that. It takes up extra space and stuff, but inside a tent it's worth it. I got this orange 30-foot leash. That's what I've been taking him outside at night on. Like I said, so he doesn't run off the cliff or something. When it's daylight, I'm not too worried about it because I can see. I'm always watching, if there's another dog or squirrel or something they might chase, but definitely for at night when I can't see very good, he might see or hear or smell something that I don't and take off running after it. So 30-foot leash. I've also got a black and green 6-foot leash. Since we're out here on public trails and stuff, like yesterday we crossed paths with a couple people. I keep that strapped to my waist belt and then just wrapped around my water bottle. Have him off leash, and then if we come up on some people, I just clip the leash on him until we get by him. And then this here, little washcloth to kind of dry him off before we get in a tent. And then this, if I let him off leash at night, I can at least see where he's at. It just slips over his head. So that's some extra stuff I've had to bring for him. And I brought, of course, I always wear my Zero shoes, but I carrying a heavy pack. I wanted more support for my feet and everything, so I got my hiking boots. They're out there in that vestibule. But to get up in the middle of the night to let them out, I just put them on, or just walking around here at camp yesterday. But that's some extra stuff I brought. One thing I brought that I wish I didn't is my chair. I always say, it's a 2-pound chair, and I always say it's worth it just so I could be comfortable when I get to camp. But here we there's so much moisture in the air and everything. I didn't want to just sit outside and just continue to get wet. And as far as building a fire and sitting around it, if the weather would have been drier, we would have done that, and that chair would have been nice. But it was supposed to have cleared up early afternoon yesterday, and it never did. So we just had the vestibules open so we could see outside, and we just kind of hung out in the tent and everything during the day, except for getting out and going on walks. But so on this particular trip, that was an extra 2 pounds I wish I wouldn't have brought, but I trusted the weather, said it was going to clear up. See, this is the weather I'm dealing with. You can see slight little sprinkles and everything, but all this moisture in the air, that sucks. It's worse than dealing with just rain, in my opinion. Brooks here. Good boy. So I got him off leash now. It's starting to get daylight, but right before we got out of the tent to take him for a walk, heard 2 animals coming down through the thicker leaves here, and might sound stupid, but if you spend enough time out in the woods, you can tell the difference between a prey animal and a predator animal walking through the woods. A prey animal like a deer or something is a lot more cautious. You can see that red light works pretty good. Like a deer or something is more cautious when they move, and a prey animal or predator animal, if they're just traveling, they'll just walk through the woods like they own it, and heard two animals coming through down just right up just past us before we got out of the tent, and very well could have been coyotes or something. So we waited a few minutes and then got out of the tent, but just in case they're still around, neither one of us can fight very well if we're tied to each other, if it came down to that, you know. So I made sure I got him away from his obedience is 100%, you know, so I made sure I got him away from the cliff edge and got him out here walking around. But I don't want to take any chances. You know, coyotes come and go. If I was by myself, I wouldn't be worried about it, but they might see a dog as a threat to their territory or whatever, so, you know, just trying to keep him safe. This is something I do not miss about being a ground dog. Holding up a wet, dirty tent is no fun. No fun at all. It's not too muddy, but still. Stuff I wouldn't have to mess with in a hammock. And the cleanup time whenever you get back home is longer. Because not only do I have to let this dry, but then I have to get all the dirt off of it and everything. Where if I was hammock camping, I just hang up my tarp to let it dry, and then that's it. So we're all packed up, ready to go. Come on, Brooks. So this is another foggy view of this epic scenery up here. If I think about it, when I record or when I edit this, I will put in a view of what this would have looked like if the weather wasn't like this. But we're gonna be heading back the 2 miles back to camp, or back to the car, and get out of here, get out of this weather. So this is kind of a welcome stretch of the, what's down there? No, we don't want to take that trail. This is kind of a welcome stretch of the trail, getting off all them rocks and potential ankle twisters and stuff, and getting on some soft pine needles on some pretty level ground. It's pretty nice for a little break. So me and my dog are about a half a mile away from the parking lot and everything, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Garden of the Gods area, you know, you can go to the backpacking parking lot and see a lot of cars, but then come out here for a night or two and not really see any people. We get within a quarter mile of the parking lot as everybody's leaving there and heading out because of all the trails that they have here and all the dispersed camping and stuff. Within a quarter of a mile of the parking lot, you know, you run into people as they're heading out on their own separate ways, and then as you get back to the parking lot, you know, all the different people converging from their trails and their trips back to the parking lot. But other than that, it's really nice. You know, you can get out here and not see any other people or anything and just do your own deal. Weekends are a little bit different, but if you know which trails to take, you can get out away from even the weekend crowd. So we're gonna end it here. We had a good time. We're all wet and soggy, and gonna head home and get dry and clean. And if you stayed this long, thanks for watching. So of course, this is what I came home to. Nice clearing skies. But oh well, I guess it'll make it easier to dry out my gear.